what amazes me is the exuberance of Bahamians. Just go around the world and see if anybody's screaming what we are screaming. They have carbon credits too, and everything else. No one has yet brought an actionable step. They're repeating what they've read in magazines. None of them have read the report. Repeating. They say, but nobody can tell you what they know. This reminds me of IBM when I was there in 1981 when the desktop was released, and everybody was excited. We had this computer with less than 1 megabyte of memory, and everybody was saying, boy, nobody in our lifetime, I want you to go back to 1981 to now, nobody in our lifetime would ever need more than 1 megabyte of memory. Now you're walking around with a device in your hand with 1 gigabyte of memory. That's 1 billion, okay? Now you're walking around with 64 gigabyte in your flash card, 64 billion. And I've seen technology evolve, and I've seen the industry of carbon credits and all the other natural resources evolve. And God gave us a certain type of natural resources that is meant to prepare the future. And He gave us a time and a window for us to access it. But you have so much charlatans that want to be the one to say, we discovered this. We told you about this, because those individuals they're speaking to are totally ignorant of the fact that this information has been there. It's like telling you, there's cities beyond the ice wall. There's city beyond the ice wall. The world is flat. The city's beyond the ice wall, and they don't want you to know. And nobody can tell you. Provide some proof. Bahamians. We have to mature in our thinking. Nothing is free. You don't sit around and get nothing for free. Just in the same way the world has evolved. The Bahamas is one of the most digitally prepared country in the world. You heard me say this for 2 decades. Tell me what you can get digitally. Digital is the low-hanging fruit that would equip you to exploit the natural resources, because these are all digital things to authenticate and accelerate it. But it's like you're ignoring the rule of first knowledge. Here's the way first knowledge works. Imagine if I go back to the 80s. The internet, as you guys know, it was found in 1983, January of 1983. We spoke to some traders then who was trading on Wall Street, and we told them, one day you will be able to trade on the internet without all these other different things they were doing. Do you know that everybody in the room knew what trading was? But you know the question they asked us? What is the internet? This is us. The internet was something that exists that you guys use today. It's ubiquitous to you in almost everything that you do, even though you don't use it in the proper context for growth and development. Fintech is evolving around us. We're still using regular banking. No banks on no outer islands and this and that. But yet we shop all over the world with no fucking banks. But we are saying, there's no banks on the outer islands. Our people can't bank. Madness, I say. This comes from leadership who take advantage of the ignorant to say, I told you all about this. I read the book first. I told you all. But none of you all asked the question, who wrote the fucking book that the person who now telling you about read? You think they know what he's repeating? Or whoever is repeating these things? My people. Natural resources abound around us. Our 102 dozen so far. Everyone plays an integral role. Yeah, the true value is unmeasurable by experts who have said so decades ago, not today. But because we want something for nothing, not even putting in the work, we will never get it. That's a God's principle. I don't care who run around and tell you that they could violate God's principle, who could violate the principles of our existence in this realm. It doesn't work like that. I don't care how they twist the truth about what other countries did. It doesn't work like that. No country in this world today has not been, who is where they are, have not been built by industry, not by natural resources. Industry. Natural resource was an augmentation of their development. We need to stop the madness. Stop it. Stop believing in fantasies. Wealth without work only occurs in the dictionary where wealth comes before work. Please, Bahamians, if you want to have a real conversation about natural resources and how to exploit it, there are people placed by God amongst us with the knowledge. But this is another godly principle of trying to present information to fools. Think about that. Fools. Wisdom is information. When presented to you, you have knowledge. So it's the proper comprehension of information is knowledge. Wisdom is the proper execution of knowledge. Not the execution of knowledge, the proper execution of knowledge. So you have information which is presented to you now. Seek to properly comprehend it. Then seek to properly execute it so they could say that was a wise nation. That's the wise people. This is C.allen Johnson, firstborn in natural resources within our country, because the information I got was from outside of our countries, spanning 2 decades. The information is there. I've had firstborns, many of you refer to them as KCX. One of my greatest, I think, that I collab with was Aaron Ferguson, but most of you won't even know about his show, Citizens Review, and his positioning in informing you of exactly where you are. KCX was a second information exchange. Aaron was the first since I came home, but you guys don't know. You should do some research. And this KCX, and there are others, what you may call among you guys lesser prophets. But my people perish for lack of knowledge. Notice the word there, for lack of knowledge. The proper comprehension of information. This is C.allen Johnson, critical thinker. I invite competent intellectual challenge to things I say. 242-825-9700.